You're not going to believe what happened just after buying the Durango Hellcat. That car was at the McLaren dealership. They had some amazing cars. I love McLaren, for better or for worse. They're kind of my car brand now. Walking around looking at all the cars, comparing them to my 720. What do they have that I don't? What do I have that they don't? Seeing if there was a better one out there, that kind of stuff. They had a couple of 765. Those are the best version of that car. Like some people have told me, I don't know personally because I've never driven a Senna, but some people have even told me they're nicer to drive than the Senna, which is my goal to get to owning a Senna. The natural step would be from the 720 to the 765 to the eventual Senna, and it would help me adjust to the pricing. They're a more limited number because they only supposedly made 765 of them. Everything would make sense to have them. So even though I was looking at all the other 720s they had some with full carbon pack 1, 2, and 3 on them, all kinds of stuff. Didn't really make sense to those. I just enjoyed looking. They had a Spider and a hardtop 765, and I like hardtops. It had a roof scoop. It was the coolest blue color I have ever seen on a McLaren. It had Senna seats. It was amazing. They were kind enough to let me sit in it and see, how well I fit. I'm a big proponent of making something that is a goal for you real by touching it and seeing it and picturing it and being able to really make it real versus maybe just dreaming about it. They let me sit in it, and I was like, man, it's just these Senna seats make it to where I can't do the normal seat dance I do where I scoot it forward, lean it back, scoot it back a little, lean forward, find the perfect little combo so I fit in the car the best. Senna seats don't allow you to do that. They're manual, just forward or back. There's no leaning or anything. And so I was like, man, I just don't fit right. Like my knees are too close to the dash. It's uncomfortable. That's helpful. At least I won't be trying to make this happen or whatever. We finished the deal on the Durango Hellcat and we moved on. During that Durango deal, I did forget to take my title of the G-Wagon. So the next day, cruised on up there and gave him the title. Well, while I was there handing the title over, they gave me a piece of paper of a proposed deal for that 765. And I was like, man, I don't fit in the seats. And then they came over and showed me you can actually move those seats on the bracket. So they could go down, there's 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and they could go back about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. So that gave me quite a bit of room combining both of those. It would give me more than enough room to fit. And so I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I had to actually look at the numbers and see what they were offering me as trade value for my 720 and my Aston Martin. Then what was left, how would the financing work, all that. And I just wasn't sure it was going to work, but I was willing to take a look because, that car was amazing. It was absolutely beautiful. They gave me really good values for the Aston, and they did okay on the 720. Discussed it with my wife to make sure that she would be okay, and her first question was, okay, so after this, how long are we going to keep it? What's the next step? And I was like, really the only step after this, unless something comes out of nowhere that hasn't been made yet, the only next step is the Senna. I've built a 2-year plan to, if things go right, get to the Senna, so that's really the only other thing I would go to. So she's like, okay, well, if it's up to you, I think it was her quote. So I told him to go ahead and give it a shot. That car was significantly more money. I wasn't sure a bank would even give me that big of a jump in loans. I have a really good car history. I have a great credit score. That's getting to a different amount of car value-wise that I've never tried to buy before. So I honestly didn't think they would be willing to give me a loan on it. But they said they were confident in it and they'd give it a shot. So it was exciting. We drove away. A couple banks called me on the phone, asked me a couple questions, and never heard back. So I was kind of like, I got declined. It's a bummer feeling, but when you're dealing with cars that are that value and you're taking such a significant jump in the loan values you're taking, it's sort of expected in a sense. And I wasn't willing to take my reserves from the bank to really go heavy and give it so much money that the value would make sense for them, and then it would deplete my savings to get there. We were kind of at a stalemate. Then the dealership did something I didn't expect. Instead of lowering the price of the car, because they were probably set on the back end of the car and they couldn't really mess with that too much. So what they did is they increased the value of my trade-in. And then we used the check I was going to get for the G-Wagon, and we put that in on the deal, and then I just came out of pocket a little bit to make the bank happy, make the dealer happy, and then make me happy. Insanely enough, magic happened, and the reason that's covered, obviously by now, is that is a new car. This is my 2021 McLaren 765 LT.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back better than last. Yeah, it's a new me. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes. I'm never gonna look back, 'cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make